Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we take a look at a really spicy build of Hops Zacian. And this time we're playing Hops Sandaconda. This is a card that I must admit I forgot existed until I was browsing through, because obviously I've done Hops Zoroark recently, and I was browsing through the cards and everything, and I thought, what Pokemon does Hop have that I haven't looked at? And well, we have the snake, as I'm just going to call it, because saying Sandaconda all the time sounds like too much work. Obviously, I will say Sandaconda throughout this video, but you get the point. So as per usual, in the description below, there's going to be usual links. Double the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So, the Hops Sandaconda is from Journey Together, obviously same as with the other Hops cards. But this is a stage 1 attacker, which, that may sound like bad things to some of you, but it's actually not that bad, because it's not too hard to get this little fella going. So Hops Sandaconda has 2 attacks. For a fighting and a colourless, we have Rumble for 30 damage. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon cannot retreat. Pretty useful and versatile. Then we have, for 1 fighting and 2 colourless, Break Ground, 140. This attack also does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. Now I know the second part of that subtext sounds pretty bad, but remember, we can play Dark Energy with this. And what's another card that we can play with this sort of deck? That's right, Munkidori. He's back. And I know some of you are probably getting sick of me using Munkidoris in decks. But, well, unfortunately, Munkidori is just that good of a card. It's a no-brainer. See what I did there? I know that was terrible. To include this card. And obviously, with the way the card is anyway, we're naturally playing Dark Energy to help power up the Sandaconda and also the Munkidori. But obviously, it also means we can use them on the Zacians. Obviously, we're playing Fez as well for a little bit of extra draw. We've got 2 copies of Hops Cramorant in here, so we have the Fickle Spitting attack. We also have Bloodmoon Ursaluna in the list, like standard, because, you know. And then, of course, we have Hops Snorlax in here as well, who can do up to 230. Hops Sandaconda caps at 230. Obviously, that may sound pretty decent, and it is, because that one-shots a Mega Kangaskhan without breaking a sweat. With just 1 damage mod, we're taking out a non-charmed, well, we are actually taking out a Lively Stadium one. And with all the damage mods in play, I believe, if I've done my maths right, you can still take out a Mega Kangaskhan. I've not done the maths, so someone might have to correct me in the comments. Feel free to do so. With all 3 damage mods on Breakground, so obviously the Stadium, Post-Wick, Hops Snorlax, Hops Choice Band, that would do 230, and I believe you would still one-shot a Mega Kangaskhan, which, that's pretty good. Obviously, with like Lively Stadium, the Bouffalance. I think the Bouffalance might throw a spanner in the works for that, though, but even then, this card just hits very hard and hits a relevant weakness right now. And that's kind of why I wanted to play it, because it's an interesting card, and like I said, there's not really any other Hops cards that are coming. Obviously, there is the Hops Trevenant coming next, well, in the next set, and I do want to do a deck around that as well, because that first attack is pretty spicy. Obviously, that means also we can play Psychic Energy for the Munkidoris, which will be in that list, so Munkidori can even have a swing in that deck, but I'm not going to cook that now. Let's go to the deck list, and let's have a quick look. And welcome to the deck list. So, as I said, this is a pretty standard Hops Zacian list. It's just with the snakes, which I forgot to mention the Silicobra. It actually does have a good first attack, which you can use for free if you have Hop Choice Band in your hand. Turf Maker. Search your deck for a Stadium card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. And you also have the option to gnaw for 20. Which, you know, with a Hops Choice Band and obviously a Fighting Energy, that does take out a Bidoof, so that's pretty good. And it's always nice to have it. But obviously we're playing a 2-2 line of the Hops Sandaconda, which I thought that was a pretty fair line to run. I did try 3-3, but I wasn't playing as much consistency, so I decided to go 2-2. Then we're playing 2 Munkidoris, 2 Hops Snorlax, 2 Hops Cramorant, 2 Hops Zacian EX, 1 Latias EX, 1 Fezandipiti EX, and of course 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX. He's kind of a staple in these lists. 4 Lillies, 3 Arven, 3 Iono, 2 Boss, I had to clear my throat then. 1 Crispin, 4 Nest Ball, 3 Night Stretcher, 2 Hops Bag, 2 Ultra Ball, 1 Energy Switch, because Energy Switch is so good in these lists, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Prime Catcher, 4 Hops Choice Band, 1 Air Balloon, 3 Post-Wick, 4 Fighting Energy, 3 Dark Energy, and 2 Jet Energy. The reasoning for the Crispin is because obviously a lot of our attackers now, obviously the Snorlax and the Sandaconda, they do take 2 energy to attack. And obviously we only play 1 E-Switch, and we're only manually attaching 1 energy per turn. Sometimes not at all, because obviously we can just go Hop Zacian if we need to. But the point is that I want to try and maximise the way we can get energy into play. Obviously, we're keeping Jets in the list, because obviously they can help power up the Break Ground attack, and Jet Energy is just such a good card to have anyway. It is a bit lower than I'd like. Obviously, I don't really want to play just 2, but obviously you don't want to play too many energy in a Hop Zacian list, because, you know, there's only so much consistency you can put into these lists. Now, I will say my other consistency, well, my other choice would be to cut an Iono for a 3rd boss. 3rd boss would probably go pretty hard in here, because obviously you've got the Cramorant, you've got the Lax, you've got the Sandaconda. And obviously when the Trevenant rolls around, that's going to be a pretty good card to have. But ultimately, I don't think you need to make those changes, but I think the 3rd Iono being cut for a 3rd boss would be a pretty fair trade. So, let's go to the games and see how we do. And welcome to the first game. Let's see how we do with this Spicy Snake list. This is an interesting one, because like I say, when I was going through Hop's cards, like, the only other card that you could cover in realistic ways is the Corviknight, but the Corviknight is a bit hard to set up. And, you know, LDF did it a while back with Bad Deck Friday, and I enjoyed that video, but I don't think I'm going to be making a deck with Hop's Corviknight. It's just too awkward to set up because of the energy costs and stuff like that, but, you know, I think it'd still be like a good spread attacker if you went for that sort of approach. Maybe play like Frostlass instead of the Hop Snorlax. Looks like we've got a mulligan, so we are giving away that we've got the snake, which is unfortunate, but let's see what we're facing against as well. 2 mulligans, okay, we do give away the snake again, that's fine. And we start the monkey, that's fine by me. I can live with that. The 2 mulligans is quite annoying, but, you know, we'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's see what we're facing against. Are we going first or second? He's going first, so that's fine. He's putting down another Pokemon. That's fine. Munkidori and a Toxel. This is probably Dark Box of some description. There's a lot of Dark Boxes running around right now. It makes sense, you know, it's a good deck. Like, I can't argue with that. Earthen Vessel, discarding Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. That's an interesting one. Throwing 2 Dark Energy. They didn't even prize check, so that's interesting. We could prize check with a Vessel before we do anything, but I think I'm just going to Lillies first. Like, genuinely, because our hand is kind of dead. Like, we have, obviously, Lillies and Iono, but it depends on what they draw, like, what they use anyway. Excuse me. And Ultra Ball in 2 Dark Energy. That feels kind of bad. Maybe they've got a recovery card in hand. Carvana, so this is Sharpedo. Okay, we can deal with Sharpedo. It will take us a few hits, but, well, that's Megas for you. We're not exactly doing a high damage output. There's another Munkidori. So I'm going to attach the Munkidori, and based on their hand, because they really didn't do much, I'm just going to Lillies. That is pretty dang good. It means as well, we don't have to put an energy attachment onto the Zacian. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to Nest Ball for Latias, because we could get the snake, but the snake isn't really going to be too great. Like, it's going to be good when we're obviously getting monkeys established and things like that, but I don't need to do that now. So we'll just int straight for 90, and we'll hit the Carvana. Make my job a little bit easier. Obviously, you know, he can just Munkidori that off, but again, we can just keep putting the pressure on. We have Munkidori in hand, so we can just start putting pressure on. Like I say, he really didn't do much, so I'm not going to Iono him if I don't need to. If he Munkidoris, it's fine because I just move it back. It's not a big deal. There's the Tox. If he's got Sharpedo in hand, that feels pretty good for him, but, you know, I don't think he does, because, like I say, he really didn't do much. And yeah, there's the Evolution. He's giving me the Carvana. Okay, that's fine. If you Munkidori this off, I just monkey right back. Because that monkey's going down. I want to take out Munkidoris, because obviously my monkey is useful in this matchup, because obviously I can heal my Pokemon and stuff like that. But if he tries to move damage off with his monkey, I can simply just do the job there. But no, if you're just giving me a Carvana and passing, I'll take it, because I'm just going to second monkey. Obviously we have a fighting energy in hand for when we do get the snake, which is pretty nice, but I don't think we're going to need the snake in this matchup. It'd be nice to have it, because obviously we're putting more damage on our board, and then just monkey and increase our damage, but, you know, we don't have to have the snake down in this matchup. It's not a big deal. But no, I think my opponent, if they like use their noggin and think about it, they need to bench second monkey plus dark to even have a chance of keeping this one alive. But I think now they're just really thinking about it, or they're just deliberately taking too long with their actions. Probably the latter. But no, like I said, we don't need to use the snake in every matchup. Like, it's mainly here for like the Kang decks that are running around. There's a lot of Kangaskhan running around. And obviously with, you know, the snake having such a hard hitting attack, it's pretty nice to have. There's the Arven, so that feels pretty good. So we'll grab a Hops Bag and a Choice Band. So, do I bench second monkey? I don't think I need to, realistically. I think I'm just going to go for Silicobra, and I think I just grab second Zacian. But then again, Cram's pretty good in case he gets established. So I'll go Choice Band to the Cram, attach to the Silicobra. We'll Adrenabrain 3 off the Zacian and put it back on that monkey. And then Insta Strike for 90, take out the Carvanha, and take out the Munkidori. Taking 2 prize cards. That's the early pressure of Hop's decks, and that's why I like the deck. I've never played Hop's deck IRL, like I've not played a Hop's deck IRL, but it is a pretty fun deck. Like, it's something you would play at locals, but you wouldn't take it to like a big tournament or something like that. It just doesn't have the damage output in the middle to later stages of the game. Like, yeah, Insta Strike is a really good attack, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you kind of need to just establish your board state. But no, this is not looking good for my opponent, because they have to promote this if they want to get their Carvanha going. That's kind of why I wanted to focus down one specific Carvanha. But no, I think my opponent has rage quit, which is becoming a bit of a trend. I've noticed a lot of people rage quitting when they could still win the game. You know, like Sharpedo's going to take me a while to deal with, is all I'll say. But no, it just seems to be the case that people just rage quit when they are on the slightest bit of back foot. So I will cut until, well, I'll see when something interesting happens. My opponent definitely rage quit. I just got a opponent was inactive for too long victory message. Well, we didn't get to use the snake, but, well, who needs it when we've got the wolf to do everything? Let's go to a game 2. And welcome back to game 2. That went pretty smoothly. Obviously, the early aggression of Zacian continues to prove its worth. That's why you play 2 copies of the card. Obviously, in the Hops Zoroark video, because I wanted to lean more into the Zacian, I did play 3 copies of Zacian. I did forget to mention that you could just cut down to 2, because I think I already played 1 Hops Cram in that, and to be honest, that's probably where the cut would go back in. Okay, we're starting Munkidori again. That's completely fine with me. I can deal with that. And a mulligan. New upper, Turo, Lilies. This is probably Dragapult. Could be a tough matchup for us. Obviously, we do have the snake, which can hit 230. Obviously, they have Fez and the like, so we can use Sandaconda against the Fez and stuff like that. But yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. And obviously, with Munkidori damage moving, we could potentially hit really hard in this one. So let's see what we can do. We can get immediate attack off with the Zacian, but we do need to top deck a Hop's Choice Band, because otherwise I won't be able to do it. There's a Buddy Poffin, looking ugly as ever on PTCG Live. We love that. I've never liked the way PTCG Live handles stuff like that, I must admit. Getting 3 Dreepies down is pretty good for my opponent though. And there's a Luminous Energy. And a pass. A Prime Catcher off the top would be amazing right now. That is not a Prime Catcher, so we will Nest Ball. See, what do I grab here? That's the thing. Like, I could grab Zacian, but then I'm only doing 60. But then again, no, I'm doing 90 because of the hot Snorlax. But the problem is I'd have to attach to the Munkidori and retreat, so I can't really do anything with this. See, I'm kind of conflicted what to grab now. I think I'll just grab Zacian, just to get it on the board. And then I can attach a Fighting Energy to the monkey and just pass. I don't need to rush, but because it's pull, I would love to get going early. And obviously we've not been able to bench the snake either. I mean, the snake does have 70 HP in his basic form. But, well, when my opponent gets the Lilies for 8, that feels pretty bad. And he's establishing double ghosts, so that also feels pretty bad. But obviously now we can go retreat with Munkidori into the Zacian, and then obviously start using fighting energy to power up the Zacian's attacks. But I would love to Prime Catcher this Dracloak. That would be my priority target, would be this Dracloak, because of the Luminous Energy on it. Obviously, I know he plays Neo Upper, but, you know, taking Dragapult's energy out of play is something you need to do in these matchups. There's no sugarcoating it, you have to do it. Jamming Tower, that is slightly annoying, but obviously we do have the Post-Wick in hand. Like I said, top deck of Prime Catcher would be amazing right about now. Because I'd retreat the Monkey into the Snorlax, Prime Catcher, because then I can recycle that energy and go from there, but yeah, this isn't looking good so far. This starting hand has been horrendous. You don't want 2 Night Stretchers, you don't want the Snake this early, and you definitely don't want to top deck a Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Ultra Balling away a Psychic and a Monkey, that's fine. But yeah, let's see what happens, because I'm not too concerned right now, but obviously it's the Ghost that concerned me. Is the main thing. I'm more concerned about the Ghosts. There's another Dracloak, so to get more draw. I wish I had that draw. And a Bidoof. Okay, that's gonna make things even harder. Do you have an Attach Retreat? Of course you do. They always have an Attach Retreat for the Bidoof. Hang on, isn't that a second Psychic Energy? Yeah, it is. That's quite unusual. It's not like a bad thing. I'm not dissing my opponent for it. It's just not. It's not what you'd normally expect. They normally only play like 1 or 2 Psychic. So I mean, they might be playing more. I don't know, but still. And there's the Itchy Pollen. So no Prime Catcher shenanigans for us. That is fine. That is an Iono, however, but that doesn't really help me. So I'm going to retreat into the Zacian. Bounce your stupid Stadium, and Iono, because I have a dead hand. And while I'm giving my opponent technically 8 cards to work with. Alright, well that's not too bad. We do at least get a Dark Energy onto the Munkidori. So I can Adrenabrain this 10 off. I can put it on one of the Duskulls, I guess. And then I'll Instant Strike for 120 and put it on the Duskull. Force him to blow this one up. But no, this is looking horrible. I've not been able to establish a Snake at all. And even then, the Snake would be pretty bad in this matchup. Like, spreading damage across my board is the last thing I want to do against Pult, but you know, it's just had a cookie crumble sometimes. Hopefully as well we can just start putting pressure on those Duskulls and maybe we can start to claw this back, but so far my opponent is in the driver's seat, as some would say. There's a Latias, so he has the free retreat now. We could actually go for Latias if we had damage on the board. Like, if we had, you know, the Snake Dan obviously evolved with energy on it, we could actually go for the Latias, but we'd need a Munkidori ping because of the -30 for resistance. But we could actually one-shot a Latias with it. Which is, you know, usable and everything, but I need to establish more attackers, and that's kind of glad. Well, I'm kind of glad that I got that off the Iono. But yeah, this is not looking good. Like, unless he plays Defiance Band, which very few ports do, or if, of course, he gets the Dusclops, we're in a really bad position. And something tells me I'm going to have a port in my face very shortly. Which, you don't really want. Let's put it that way. We can obviously hit it for 120 and obviously start softening it up. But this is a really bad situation to be in. Obviously, the Snake can obviously do quite a bit of a number in this matchup if we do manage to get it established. And, well, there's the Fire Energy, so we are having a port in our face. Not the prettiest thing to have in your face, I will say that much. But, you know, I had some questionable girls hit on me at prom, so, you know. Oh, not the Iono. No, I wanted to keep that hand. That was a good hand. Oh, God. Okay, well, that's workable. But he doesn't get the Dusclops, which is good. We can obviously take out that... What are you doing? Why would you do that? I can just get another monkey. Why would you... That's so awkward for your prize race. Why would you do that? What? That just feels so bad. That just feels bad. Like, yeah, you're taking the monkey out of play and you got your Dusclops, but... Curse Blast. Okay. Please do not tell me you're going to burn multiple CC. Okay. So I'll take my prize card. There's Energy Switch. That's pretty good, actually. What was the point of that? Body Poffin. I really don't get what my best intention there was, because that was kind of dumb. I mean, I guess you make it hard for me to heal my Zacian. But, like, I don't need to heal my Zacian. I know you're going to take it out. That just feels really weird, that play. I don't agree with my opponent's play there whatsoever. You're coughing up 3 prize cards for me. And you're putting 60 on the Lax? No, I don't like this play at all, mate. That's not me criticising my opponent, that's just me making a general observation. I don't like that at all. There's the Sandaconda, but that's not going to be too useful right now. I can grab my Fez. I know putting Fez down at this point is kind of bad, but, well, I need to draw. So, we'll Fez first. Okay, that's pretty alright. We can bench a second Lax, which is okay, but I don't think I want to. But I might have to. I don't think I need to Iono them. I'm just going to Lillies for 6. Again, I want to put this second Lax down, because obviously you could Clops, then take it out with thingy, so I'm going to do that. And then, yeah, I'm going to Lillies. Okay, there's a Nest Ball for a Sandaconda, or a Silicobra. And it also has 80 HP, so it actually does seem, it is actually pretty tanky. So I'm going to attach the Silicobra. I don't really want to mention Latias yet. And yeah, I'll just Inch Strike for 120, and I will hit the Duskull. Again, I'm trying to force blow it up. That's what I want him to do. I want him to blow up that Duskull. Because then he's giving me more prize cards. And obviously he's going to take 2 prizes here, which I can't really do much about. But if he gives me a prize card, I still have a Snorlax on the board. So that way if he does Clops this one, I still have a Lax giving me bonus damage. So there is thought behind my plays here. Like, I'm not benching the second Lax just for the sake of it. I am thinking about it. And obviously the Cobra can obviously come in and start doing some damage as well. So that's at least something. And while it's part of the video, I'm not exactly going to title a video, you know, oh, Hops Sandaconda, such a good card and stuff. Obviously I don't do clickbait, but, you know, like, I'm not going to say, oh, this Hops or Sandaconda is such a good card, and then I don't even use it, you know, like, what's the point of the video? But yeah, it's one of those situations, like, I have an 80 HP Pokemon, which is now able to be attacking next turn, if obviously we get the right draws. We have Latias for free retreat if he tries to counter catcher. But ultimately, it's not looking the best for us, but we could still come back from this. But let's see what my opponent's doing, because obviously they've got a really... This is a really pretty card, I will say, but, you know, it's one of those things, like, you can obviously have such a really nice card, but at the same time, if he keeps the damage on the board as well, if we manage to find Munkidori, that'd be really nice. There's another German Tower, so that's going to affect our Cobra a little bit. But, well, we do still have... How many stadiums left? We have at least 2 left. That's fine. We could potentially take a 3-prize turn if we get the right draw. There's a Nest Ball. Because obviously they lost... They have a Monkey, I know that much. But they've already attached for turn. So they're threatening Munkidori now, which is fine. But, you know, let's see what they do with this Phantom Dive. Because, you know, I don't really know what they're going to do with it. Obviously, 1 here makes sense. But he seems to be focusing on the Lax, which I don't agree with. So... 20 on the Cobra, 3 on the Snorlax, 1 on the Fez. Makes sense. Okay, well, we could respond here with the Cobra. So let's see if we can respond with the Cobra. We're going to need quite a bit, though, so we're going to have to make sure we do stuff. So we do get the Night Stretcher for the energy, which is pretty nice. We need to take an energy here. We can't take Munkidori. And then I'm going to put down Latias, just so I have free retreat, and then I'm going to Iono. Because he doesn't know what damage this guy can do. Okay, we're almost there. We just need a stadium now. We need stadium and snake. That's not it. But do we get there with Snorlax? No. In fact, no, do we? Because I can free retreat this. No, I'm a bit short. I can Gnaw for 80, I guess. I mean, it's not a great thing, but I think for my own safety, I just give him the Lax, because there's not a lot I can do here. We've whiffed on the Snake, which is really bad. We could have taken 2 prizes here, and we'd have been in a really good position, but no, we've not been able to establish it. How many jamming towers do you play, man? That's your 3rd tower. Wow, this guy's so heavily teched for tool-focused decks. Why are you playing 3 tower? You only need 2. You only need 2. You literally only need 2 in terms of, you know, jamming tower. Trust me, you don't need 3. No decks are playing that many tools unless they're hop decks. So unless you really hate hop, which is kind of copium if you do. If he does take a prize card here, we could dig for Bear. Bear would be pretty good to have. There's Monkey, so Monkey's now online. He could also take out my Silicobra, which is kind of bad. But, you know, this isn't looking very good for me. That's the problem, like, we've not really been able to establish much, and it feels kind of bad. Like, we whiffed on the Snake, which is the worst part, because I could have taken this pull out. There's nothing much I can do when I'm whiffing and this guy's got 3 freaking stadiums. No Portless is playing 3, I can assure you that much. And he's even got the Clops, which just makes my job even worse. He's got the Hilda as well. So he's probably going to grab Neo Upper or something. Pult Neo Upper or like Pult Luminous or whatever. But no, this was really bad. Like, the best thing we can do here is we can go Bear. Like, we can attack with Bear, and that's about my only thought. But no, this looks horrendous for us. They're evolving that one, and they're not waiting around for it. They could go into this fresh pool, but hopefully they don't, because this is not looking good. And also, they are taking quite a long time with their actions, which is annoying, because, you know, I don't like people who slow play. As I've said before, it's kind of annoying. Especially given that there's no punishment on PTCGL for actually doing it. If I'd have known I'd have whiffed on the Snake, I'd have done the Lax KO. Like, I'd have swing with this Lax, but no. We know his last card in hand is a Neo Upper anyway, but is he going to detonate this? That's my main concern. Because we could still take it out with a Zacian, but we just don't fall anywhere short. And there's the Phantom Dive. He's probably going to take out the Snake, annoyingly, which is annoying, because obviously I can't do anything. And yeah, he's just taking out the Snake. I can't even do anything, so, you know, I can't even use the card that's the point of this video because he's just going to focus it down. Alright, well, there is a world in which we one-shot this Pult, but then we just immediately lose afterward to a Neo Upper Pult. So, yeah, we don't really have a lot going for us here, because Pult players always have everything. And, of course, there's the Snakes. Typical. I get the Snakes when I don't need them. Or when I do need them, but, you know, I can't use it now. Yeah, I'm just going to concede here. Let's go to game 3. Well, what can you do when you've got a Pult player who plays 3 Jamming Tower and focuses down your 1 Snake? Like I say, it's annoying that the next couple of cards were the Snakes, because I couldn't do anything. Like, I thinned as much as I could, I drew my supporters, I drew a Fez, and I just did not see the Sandaconda. Like, what can I do? And like I said, he had 3 Jamming Towers in his list. No one plays 3 Jamming Tower in a Pult. The most I've seen is 2. Like, unless he specifically hates Hops decks, there is no reason for him to be playing that many. Alright, let's see what we can face off against here. This is Guardy. Okay, so the Sandaconda is not going to be too great in this matchup, but the Munkidoris will, because they can work in tandem with the Zacian. Let's see what we can do in this matchup. Now, are we going first or second? I didn't check. We're going second. That's fine. I'll be honest, I didn't even look. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind going second against Guardian, because obviously I can take an early prize against Rolls. This is something that the Sandaconda can deal with, though. So let's see what we can do. Attach. Are you going to retreat into the Clefairy? Because if I was going to say, if I get the right draws, that thing is dead. And speaking of the devil, there it is. So we're going to Arven for a Hops Bag. If we've not prized any, that's good. That's always nice to see. So Hops Bag, we will grab a Zacian and a Cobra. I don't need to grab the Snorlax here, and we have prized the Snorlax. You'll see why, because, well, the Switch covering that basis. So we'll do that. Air Balloon and Monkey. Free Retreat into the Zacian. Dark Energy to Silicobra. And Instant Strike Minty hit the Clefairy. Nice, easy start. And like I said, the Cobra is actually going to be good against Clefairy here, because the Cobra hits 230 maximum. Even without anything else, right now that Cobra is doing 160, which is enough for the Clefairy. There's the Fez, which we can hit with Fighting Weakness. So, like I say, having a single prizer that can take out the two prizes quite comfortably, obviously not the Guardy, but, you know, that's to be expected. You know, having that option is just so nice to have. And to be honest, it just makes the most sense to just keep up the pressure. Obviously, we have had to put a Dark Energy here. I could have gone Jet and, you know, put the Air Balloon on the Cobra, but that doesn't really feel right. I'd rather have it on the Monkey. And speaking of Monkey, there's a Monkey. However, if my opponent does leave this in the active, I will happily take 2 prize cards with my Zacian. And while moving the energy, well, the damage off is fine, but I wonder if he'll put it on a Snake, because everyone seems to be targeting the Snake today. Okay, no, he's putting it on the Zacian, that's fine. Because we can go Jet Lilies and hopefully hit a Snake. But to be fair, correct answer would probably be to, you know, Lilies first, but then if I don't hit the Jet, it feels kind of bad. Let's see what we get off the top. Okay, Choice Band, we do need that as well. So yeah, I'm going to Jet into the Cobra. And our Lilies. Let's see if we hit it. We do not. That is unfortunate. But we can Gnaw for no damage. We can actually Turf Maker and thin the stadium out. I don't really want to retreat this. That feels really rough that we just whiff that. It seems this deck just wants to whiff. Like, that's crazy. How much have we been whiffing, man? Like, we needed... Then again, we needed Fighting Energy, so it was actually incorrect to promote this via Jet. We could have just attacked with the Zacian. So no, that's actually a misplay for me. Oh, not the Jellyfish. Oh, that's bad. He could go into the Jellyfish, which is fine. But no, that misplay won't really bother us, because obviously we can hit this pretty hard. But no, that was a definite misplay by me. So we need to attach here. Arven to guarantee it, because then we can at least attack with it. So we're a Choice Band and all that jazz. Oh yeah, we don't guarantee it because of the fucking item lock. I mean, does Gnaw for 80 actually matter here? It does. So we'll Gnaw for 80. We'll Gnaw for 80, because then we can Lilies and go from there. We can actually knock this out. Potentially, anyway. We need a Dark Energy, though. Adrenabrain. Like I say, attacking with Gnaw was not on my to-do list for this video, I must admit. But, well, unfortunately, it's just the way the cards have been. I forgot, I'll be honest, about the Jellicent's ability. I just never remember them. I remember that, like, there's so many abilities to remember, it's kind of hard to keep on track of them. There's the Sandaconda, finally. And we'll Lilies, because we need to get Latias off this. And there's Latias, excellent. So, we can bench the Cram as well. The Cram's pretty good here. So now free retreat into the Sandaconda and Cram for 200. Because then we can Crispin and start moving energy around and obviously damage around. And we can take out this Jellicent. I could have also Rumbled, but I don't think it's correct to, because he's not powering this up anytime soon. And Rumble would only do... How much Rumble would do? How much would Rumble do? 30, 60, 90, 120, minus 30, so it would do 90. But yeah, now I can start to get my monkeys into play, which means I can start moving damage onto his Pokemon, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think it's fine to... We could finish this off with Rumble, because that way we don't put more damage down if we don't have to. It's kind of a shame that we've been whiffing so much on this Sandaconda. It is a good attacker in this format right now. Obviously, its attack cost can be a little bit awkward, but, you know, fighting energy is fine, because Zacian doesn't care what it plays. It also has a 3 retreat cost, so, you know, it's something to just bear in mind. He's probably going to move it to that Zacian. He's not like that Zacian this whole time. No, he's moving it to the active. That's fine. And just a pass. That's fine. We can rumble to knock this out. And there's a Dark Energy, so we don't need to use the Crispin this turn. We can just play the Lillies. Excellent. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to Adrenabrain heal the Sandaconda. And I'll put it on... Because Clefairy doesn't have fighting resistance. I can put it on the Rolts, but then again, it doesn't really matter. I'll put it on a Jellicent, so that way he has less room to maneuver. And then we'll rumble for 90 and take this out. Down goes the Jellyfish. Down to 3 prize cards. We could still win this with a Snake. But that's if he doesn't get Rare Candy, God of War, and pulls everything out his backside. Which, judging by that promotion, he's probably going to have Candy Guardy. Which is bad for us, but we can deal with it. It's not a major deal. Because he won't want to take out the Snake. Like, he needs to focus down other stuff. He can't let, you know, he can't keep allowing my Snake to attack. And yeah, Rare Candy, Bravery Charm, that smells Guardian Hand. But hey, at least we're attacking with a Snake, like, you know. But no, it's really hard to get the Snake going sometimes. That's why we play the other Monkey, or the other Hops attackers. Purely because of just how hard it can be to get it going. So he's got 4 Psychic in a discard and 1 Dark Energy. Obviously, we can go Arven for Prime and take this out with the Sandaconda. Even with the post-switch being bumped, we still have Munkidori math. So we can make it so we can hit the Clefairy with the Snake. So let's see what we do here. We don't need to worry about the Guardian at all. Like, we can just go around it. We've not played any Gust, so we can just literally just go around this Guardy. It's not the end of the world. I think, is he going to attack with a Guardy? Is he going to take out the Snake? Because if he does, that's kind of weird. Like, surely you'd go for a 2-prizer. I have 2 2-prizers sitting, waiting for you to knock him out. His probably best attack here is to take out the Latias, because the Latias obviously provides me free retreat for my basics. But taking out the Snake here does feel kind of bad. If he does, he does. It's just the way it is. And yep, he's going to go for the Snake knockout. That's annoying, but that is why we play a 2-2 line. I don't agree with my opponent's decision there to take it out, but, well, we could just take it out with the Zacian. We can take out this Clefairy with the Zacian. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so we'll Nest Ball, grab ourselves the Silicobra. Have I got the second one in deck? No, I don't, so I'm glad I checked. I mean, I can still get it down anyway. I can always Night Stretcher. You know, it's not a big deal. I could just start establishing it. So we'll attach to the Silicobra. We'll attach Hop's Choice Band to Silicobra. We'll then Adrenabrain. Do I need damage mod here? Not really, so I can just put it on the Clefairy. Then I'll play the Arven for Prime Catcher Hop's Choice Band. I'll Choice Band the Cram. Prime the Clefairy because it's metal weak. And then Instant Strike for 240. Hit the Guardy, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Take 2 prizes, and hopefully we can establish another Snake. And well, there it is. Excellent. Like I said, we've not seen much in the way of Gust. That's our first Gusting card. So we are in the driver's seat pretty much. We're in a really good position. Like, he could take out the Zacian. I don't really care about that. But if we need to find Boss, we can go for Boss for game on the Monkey. His Adrenabrain move doesn't hugely matter here, because obviously I am still putting Monkey damage down. But obviously I can then potentially establish second Monkey if I can find my Crispin. And the Iono sucks, because obviously we did just get the second Snake, but we can deal with it. Let's see what happens. And well, there's the Crispin, even better. So if we top deck the Snake, we are hitting 230. But to be fair, I'm probably going to go with the Cram here, because the Cram just makes the most sense. There's Mew, that's a nice vulnerable 2-prizer. Night Stretcher, probably grab back an attacker of some sort. Maybe a Clefairy, but Clefairy's kind of bad. He's grabbing back Clefairy. I don't agree with this at all. Clefairy's just so vulnerable because of Zacian. I don't think you should be benching this. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't hugely matter, does it? Restart for 1. But yeah, this is looking okay for us. Like, we are still in a bad situation, don't get me wrong. But we do need quite a bit off this top deck. We could also play the Crispin, keep an energy in hand for Mystery Garden, and then we can draw 2 with a Mystery Garden, depending on what we top deck. Bravery Charm won't save that from an Ursaluna, mate. I could always win a game of Ursaluna boss, so it's not the end of the world. Super Rod, get Jelly, that's fine. You can get back to Jelly for all I care, mate. I've got all the Hops Choice Bands down that I want. So that's fine. And well, he needs to take out the Zacian, because for all I know I could have top deck bossed. And there it is. Attacking with the Guardian's fine here, it's just, you know, I don't like these Jelly builds. They're very odd. They don't work properly in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good deck, but I just don't think it's the right way to play a Guardian deck. There's a Zacian, that feels pretty good to have. So, I'm going to bench the Zacian, I'm going to play the Crispin. That is actually fine. Because I can Mystery Garden for 2. And I think I will. I'll Mystery Garden for 2. Okay, that's not bad, but it's also not good. What do we do here is the question. Because Munkidori doesn't hugely matter here. I mean, I can just hit the Guardian, I guess, with the Cram. So I think I'll just do that. Put down the Post-Wick, Fickle Spit in 210. So even with a Monkey Heal, we can potentially win with Zacian onto this Guardian if we get Gust. So we are in a good position, for the most part. He can't attack anymore with this Guardian, though. He simply can't. It's too risky. I think Mystery Guarding the fighting energy there for 2 was worth it. But ultimately, this is not looking good. But hey, at least we got to attack with a Snake. That's the important thing. He's probably going to go for my Latias now, which is kind of annoying. But we do have Monkey with the Air Balloon, so it's not the end of the world. He's going Retreat. Okay, that's fine. He's going into Clefairy. Ooh, that could be risky for you, my friend. Secret Box. There's the A-Spec, finally. With the way he was, you know, like, playing the deck, I was expecting Unfair Stamp. But it's okay. Battle Cage. Wait, why are you playing Battle Cage and Guardian? That's kind of bad. I don't get that. Yeah, I don't know why he's playing that, you know. But hey ho, it's his deck. And he's playing the beautiful Clefairy. He's got the Turo as well. Has he supported for turn? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. So he can Turo this Guardian. But then, don't I just win with Energy Attachment? Yeah, I do, unless you Gust this Zacian. And even then, you're still short by 10. You still die to a Zacian. You need to bounce this Stadium, mate. What is he trying to do here? Psychic Embrace. Yeah, you take out the Cram, but if I literally get an energy, you lose. Like, you just lose to Zacian. I don't need the Snake. I don't know what my opponent's planning here, but it's not probably going to work out too well for him. Hydrona Brain, which that doesn't hugely matter because, as I said, Snake, well, Snake or Zacian here, it doesn't hugely matter. He's going to put it on the Lati, that's fine. I don't know why you're attacking with this Clefairy. It's a horrible idea. Turo, okay. You still lose to Zacian. I know. There's the Rolls, that's fine. Again, you lose to boss now. You lose in so many different ways. I've just got to not whiff. Top deck Energy Switch, nice, or a way to recover an energy, and then we can just win with Zacian. In fact, no, we don't. We need Hop's Choice Band. Do we? Hold on. Let me just think about this. So, 30, 60, 90, 180. Yeah, we're actually short, you know. We're actually short. 200. Yeah, we're short by 20. I think we lose here. I mean, I can swing, but it doesn't matter because he just goes Munkidori, do that, and then that's game. I can go into the snake, force him to have Gust, I guess, and then we Turf Maker so we can shuffle the deck and thin a card out. This is literally my only line because I don't kill this Clefairy with Metal Weakness. I need a Hop's Choice Band to do it. If he's got the boss, he's got the boss, but you know, I've not seen. He's only played one Card Catcher this whole game. He's gonna have boss. It's just I don't know if he's got it now. Adrenabrain, that's fine because I can just move this back. But we need a miracle. That's why I didn't like thin any further. That's why I grabbed the Turf Maker because I can use this to thin. Does he have the boss? I'm praying he doesn't. I'm really praying he doesn't. Please don't have boss. For once, I'm begging Guardy to not have boss. Okay, Iono's fine. That's not boss. But you can with a Card Catcher if he plays another. Nest Ball's fine because I can get Fez. Restart for 1. And I didn't take a knockout, so no Fez. We can still win here. Sorry, Snake, you're not being used in this one, but, well... You've been used to an extent. Down goes the Silicobra. So now we can promote the Munkidori, and hopefully we can find a way to win this game. We just Nest Ball for Ursaluna, don't we? Is Ursaluna in deck? I think it is. I swear Ursaluna's in deck. Yep, there it is. We win with Ursaluna. And that's game. Whew! That was stressful against Guardian, man. Whew! That was stressful. Well, Energy Switch was prize, which proves I should have prize checked, but... No, that was stressful. Like, genuinely, that was stressful. We already got a couple of attacks in with the snake, but, you know... That's just down to the way the games can be sometimes. You know, you're not always going to get to use your tech option and everything like that. But still. We're now into Eternatus rank, which is always nice. So, what did I think to the deck? Obviously, Sandaconda didn't get to do a whole lot, which is kind of a shame. Like, the port player really focused it down, and obviously we did whiff quite a bit with it. Which is kind of a shame, you know, like, I wanted to try and use the Sandaconda as much as possible. I think it's a good tech for Hop's decks, because obviously, you know, you can get it powered up pretty easily. But obviously, I think you need to up the Ultra Ball count. 2 is just not enough, clearly. Which is odd, because 2 was fine for the Hop Zoroark video that I did not long ago. But ultimately, I just think, you know, like, it has benefits and everything like that, but I think ultimately, you know, like, Hop Sandaconda does have legs, but at the same time, it doesn't, because obviously it requires you to play a different type of energy. You know, you're having to play fighting energy, which, to be fair, the energy doesn't really matter, as long as it, you know, you're playing dark energy for monkeys and stuff like that. But ultimately, I just think this deck does fall a little bit short in terms of consistency. Maybe a Jacques could be a way to solve this problem. Maybe some Pokegears to obviously find said Jacques. You know, like, there could be room for that. Like, I think 3-3 line or a 3-2 line of the snake would be a bit risky. Because obviously you're biting into your consistency further. But no, as long as you keep the Bloodmoon in the list, you'll be fine. Honestly, this list felt fine, but I think ultimately, whiffing the snake so much was just what really set it aback for me. Like, we only got to really use it in, obviously, Game 3 there. Obviously, Game 2, we got to use the Turf Maker and obviously find a stadium, but, you know, that's not the point of why I'm putting it in the deck. That's not why I'm putting it there. Like, fair enough, using Hop's Choice Man to get a stadium for free is nice, but that's your attack, and then obviously they can just take out the snake, and, you know, you want to use the snake as much as possible, because it is good into the format. You know, 230 is a good number to be hitting, putting damage across your board for monkeys is good to have, but ultimately I think it's just a little bit too awkward, and I don't think Hop's decks should be playing it, but if they do, they need to rejig the list a little bit more, I think. But anyway, I'm going to leave it to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Hop's Zacian with Sandaconda, and I'll see you next time.